The internet is where we work, play, shop, and connect. But for every cat video, there's a scammer or a risk lurking in the shadows. We scroll, click, I agree, and hope for the best. Let's learn to be smarter, safer digital citizens. Welcome to Cybersecurity 101. So, what is cybersecurity? It's not just hackers in hoodies. It's the practice of protecting your digital life, your emails, photos, bank info, and more, from people who shouldn't have it. Just like locking your door, cybersecurity is a daily habit. It's a life skill for everyone, not just IT pros. Build good habits, stay safe, and help create a digital world we can all trust. You might think, why should I care about cybersecurity? I'm not a big target. But to cybercriminals, you're an opportunity. Your bank account, email, and identity are valuable. In today's world, everyone is a target. That's why you, yes you, need to give a damn. In 2018, Atlanta was hit by a massive ransomware attack. City systems shut down, police wrote reports by hand, and residents couldn't pay bills online. The recovery cost? Over $17 million. This wasn't just a digital problem. It disrupted real lives, showing how fragile our digital world truly is. The internet is amazing, but it comes with risks. Today, we'll break down the most common threats, show you how to spot scams, and give you simple, practical steps to protect yourself and your family. You don't need to be an expert, just a confident, informed user. Let's get started and stay safe online. The internet has its dark alleys and shady characters. Think of this as looking at mugshots from the safety of a police station. Most cyber attacks want to steal, break, or use your stuff. Let's shine a light on these digital dangers, so you're prepared, not scared. Bullshits. Phishing is the king of cyber attacks. A digital confidence trick. Attackers send urgent, convincing messages, hoping you'll click a malicious link or share sensitive info. Spear phishing is even more targeted and personal. Always treat unexpected requests with skepticism. Don't get phished. Ransomware is malicious software that locks your files and demands payment for their return. It's digital extortion. Your photos, documents, and memories held hostage. Often, it sneaks in through phishing emails or fake attachments. Suddenly, you're locked out, facing a ransom note and a ticking clock. The best defense? Prevent attacks and always keep secure backups. Let's talk about a broader category of digital nastiness: malware. Malware is a catch-all term, a bit like the word illness. It's short for malicious software, and it covers any piece of code or program designed to do harm to a computer system. Ransomware, which we just discussed, is one type of malware, but there are many others, each with its own unpleasant specialty. Think of it as a whole family of unwanted guests who sneak into your house to break things, steal your stuff, or just watch your every move. It's a huge and varied category of threats, from mildly annoying to downright destructive. One particularly creepy member of the malware family is spyware. As the name suggests, this software is designed to spy on you. Once it infects your device, it can secretly monitor and record everything you do. It can log every keystroke you type, which means it can capture your passwords, your credit card numbers, your private messages, and, honestly, even your embarrassing late-night web searches. It can also hijack your webcam and microphone, turning your own device into a surveillance tool against you. It's the digital equivalent of finding out a creepy stranger has been living in your attic for months, watching you through a hole in the ceiling. Other types of malware include viruses, which are designed to replicate and spread from one computer to another, often corrupting or deleting files along the way. Then there are Trojans, named after the famous Greek horse. A Trojan disguises itself as a legitimate piece of software, a free game, a useful utility, you name it. You willingly download and install it, but hidden inside is a malicious payload that gets unleashed on your system. There's also adware, which bombards you with unwanted pop-up ads and botnets, which secretly turn your computer into a zombie that can be used by an attacker to send spam or launch attacks on others without your knowledge. Malware can get onto your device in a number of ways. It can come from phishing attachments, from downloading software, from untrustworthy websites, or even just by visiting a compromised or malicious site in a method known as a drive-by download. The key takeaway is that malware is designed to be sneaky. You often won't know you're infected until the damage is already done. This is why having good, up-to-date antivirus software is so essential. It acts as a security guard for your device, actively looking for and blocking these unwanted intruders before they can cause any trouble. We've talked about a lot of technical sounding threats, but now let's focus on what is arguably the single most effective and most common attack vector of them all: social engineering. This is the art of manipulating people into giving up confidential information or performing actions they shouldn't. Forget about complex code and sophisticated hacking tools. The weakest link in any security system isn't the firewall or the encryption, it's the human being sitting at the keyboard. Social engineering is, quite simply, hacking people. It's a con job, a scam, a grift. Phishing, which we discussed earlier, is a classic form of social engineering, but it goes much deeper than that. An attacker might call you on the phone, pretending to be from your bank's fraud department. They'll sound professional and concerned. They might even know some information about you already, like your address or the last 4 digits of your credit card, to make them seem legitimate. Then, they'll say, there's a problem with your account, and to verify your identity, they need you to tell them your password or the full card number. They use psychology, creating a sense of urgency, authority and trust, to trick you into bypassing all the technical security measures you have in place. Another common tactic is called pretexting. This is where the attacker invents a scenario or a pretext to get what they want. For example, someone might call your company's front desk pretending to be a new employee from the IT department who needs the Wi-Fi password to set up their laptop. Or they might try tailgating, which is literally following an authorized employee through a secure door before it closes. They rely on our natural human tendency to be helpful and to avoid awkward confrontations. Who wants to be the person who challenges someone who looks like they belong? That's what they're counting on. The scary thing about social engineering is that there's no software patch for human gullibility or kindness. The only defense is awareness and a healthy dose of skepticism. It's about learning to pause and ask questions. Why does my bank need my password over the phone when they always say they'll never ask for it? Why is the CEO emailing me directly at 10 p.m. asking for an urgent wire transfer instead of following normal protocol? Social engineering works because it exploits our mental shortcuts and our trust. The best way to defend against it is to slow down, think critically, and verify requests through a separate channel before you act. You hear about them in the news all the time. Massive data breach at major corporation exposes millions of user accounts. It's become so common that we almost feel numb to it. But what exactly is a data breach? And why does it matter to you if some company you bought a pair of shoes from 5 years ago gets hacked? A data breach is any incident where sensitive, protected, or confidential information is accessed, stolen, or used by an individual who is not authorized to do so. It's a digital smash. And grab, but instead of stealing TVs from a store, they're stealing data from a server. The data that gets stolen can include all sorts of things. It could be your personal information, like your name, email address, physical address, phone number, and date of birth. It could be your financial information, such as credit card numbers or bank account details, or it could be your login credentials, your username and password for the company's website. Sometimes it can even include more sensitive data, like social security numbers, passport information, or medical records. The criminals then take this stolen data and often sell it in bulk on the dark web to other criminals. So, why does this matter to you? Because of the domino effect. Let's say your username and password for Mega Retailer Corp are stolen in a breach. If you use that same password for your email account, your bank account, and your social media, the criminals who now have that password can try it everywhere. This is called credential stuffing, and it's incredibly effective because so many people reuse passwords. Suddenly, a breach at one company you barely remember has given attackers the keys to your entire digital kingdom. This is how your identity gets stolen, how your bank account gets drained, and how your Facebook account starts posting spam. There's not much you can do to prevent a company from having a data breach. That's on them, but you can do a lot to limit the damage when a breach inevitably happens. First, use a unique, strong password for every single one of your online accounts. That way, if one account is compromised, the breach is contained and doesn't affect your other accounts. Second, you can use services like Have I Been Pwned, which allow you to check if your email address has been included in any known data breaches. It's a sobering but necessary step. Data breaches are a fact of modern life. Preparing for them is a crucial part of your digital defense. Password attacks are one of the oldest tricks in the cybercriminal playbook, guessing or cracking your password to break into your accounts. Modern attackers use automated tools to try millions of combinations in seconds, making weak or reused passwords easy targets. The best defense? Use long, unique passwords for every account. Don't make it easy for them. Man-in-the-middle attacks happen when someone intercepts your data on public Wi-Fi, reading or altering what you send and receive. Avoid logging into sensitive accounts on public networks and use a VPN to encrypt your traffic. Think of it as locking your messages in a safe. Stay alert. If a Wi-Fi network looks suspicious, don't connect. Denial of service attacks flood websites with fake traffic, knocking them offline for everyone. Most DDoS attacks use armies of infected computers, botnets, to overwhelm targets. Protect your devices with security software so you don't become part of the problem. Real cyber attacks combine tricks, phishing, malware and more into multi-stage heists. One bad click can let malware in, which spies, steals credentials, and then unleashes ransomware or data theft. Layer your defenses. One mistake shouldn't lead to disaster. Personal cyber hygiene means building simple daily habits like strong passwords and software updates to keep your digital life safe. These routines are your best defense against a wide range of threats. Start small, stay consistent, and you'll be a much harder target. Most people use weak, predictable, or reused passwords. making them easy prey for hackers. Never use personal info or common words, and don't recycle passwords across sites. Treat your passwords like keys, unique, strong, and never shared. Creating a strong password is easier than you think. Length matters more than complexity. Use a long, random passphrase, like 4 unrelated words. Add a number or symbol for extra strength. Make it unique for every site. Spend 5 minutes now to create your base passphrase. Next, we'll show you how to manage them all. Remembering unique passwords for every site is impossible. Writing them down defeats the purpose. That's why you need a password manager, a secure digital keyring that stores and fills your passwords for you. Just remember, one strong master password. It's the easiest way to stay safe online. Get one today. Password managers are great, but what if a hacker still gets your password? That's where two-factor authentication or 2FA comes in. With 2FA, even if someone steals your password, they can't get in without a code from your phone. Enable 2FA on your most important accounts. It's a simple, powerful way to stay secure. We've all been there. You're in the middle of something important on your computer or your phone, and that little notification pops up. An update is available for your system. What do? If you're like most people, you let out a heavy sigh, curse the technology gods, and frantically click the "Remind me tomorrow" or "Postpone" button. You tell yourself you'll do it later, when you're not busy. But later turns into tomorrow, and tomorrow turns into next week. And before you know it, your device is months out of date. This is a far more dangerous habit than you might realize. Those software updates are not just there to annoy you. Yes, sometimes they introduce new features or change the way an icon looks. But very often, and most importantly, they contain critical security patches. When security researchers or the companies themselves discover a vulnerability, a flaw in the code that a hacker could exploit to install malware or steal data, they create a patch to fix it. They then push that patch out to you in the form of a software update. By ignoring that update, you are essentially leaving a known, unlocked backdoor into your digital house. You're basically refusing the free, upgraded lock the landlord is offering you. Hackers and malware creators love people who don't update their software. They actively scan the internet for devices that are running older, unpatched versions of operating systems like Windows or Mac OS, or applications like web browsers and office suites. They know exactly what vulnerabilities exist in those older versions, and they have automated tools ready to exploit them. Some of the biggest malware outbreaks in history, like the WannaCry ransomware attack that affected hundreds of thousands of computers worldwide, spread primarily by exploiting a known vulnerability, for which a patch had already been available for weeks. The victims were simply the people who hadn't bothered to update. The solution here is painfully simple. When you see an update notification, install it as soon as you can. A better solution is to turn on automatic updates wherever possible. Let your phone, your computer, and your apps handle it for you in the background, often overnight while you're sleeping. It takes the decision out of your hands and ensures you're always protected against the latest known threats. Treat software updates not as an interruption, but as a free, essential security service. That little notification isn't a nuisance, it's your device's immune system telling you it's time for a booster shot. Booster. Public Wi-Fi is everywhere. Coffee shops, airports, hotels, but these networks are untrustworthy and risky. Treat public Wi-Fi with suspicion. Avoid sensitive activities like banking or work email. always check for HTTPS, the padlock icon. For real protection, use a VPN. It's like having a digital bodyguard on public networks. Your inbox is the main battleground for cybercriminals. Phishing emails try to trick you with urgency, fear, or greed. The best defense? Pause, think, and check details, like the sender's address and links, before clicking. When in doubt, verify through another channel. A little skepticism goes a long way. Social media connects us, but oversharing can put you at risk. Cybercriminals use public details, like pet names, birthdays, and travel plans, to guess passwords or security answers. Limit what you share and review your privacy settings. Set your posts to friends only. Hide personal info and think before you post. If you wouldn't tell a stranger, don't share it online. Even with strong defenses, digital disasters can strike. Malware, hard drive failure, or ransomware. When all else fails, your backup is your secret weapon. Keep copies of your important files in separate locations, like an external drive or the cloud. Cloud backup services make this easy and automatic. With a good backup, you're always one step ahead of disaster. So cheers this. Alright, so we've spent a lot of time talking about protecting your personal digital life. Your photos, your bank account, your embarrassing search history. That's all incredibly important. But now, let's talk about the other half of your life. The one that actually pays for your internet connection and your questionable late-night online shopping habits. Your job. Whether you work in a giant glass office tower, a small local business, or from a corner of your bedroom that you've optimistically dubbed the world headquarters, your work life is a massive, juicy, glittering target for cyber criminals. In fact, for many of them, it's the main event. Why? Because that's where the money is, and not just your paycheck. Your company has things that are far more valuable than your personal bank account. They have customer lists, financial records, trade secrets, employee data, and access to massive bank accounts for payroll and expenses. To a hacker, breaking into a company network is like finding a map to a treasure chest the size of a minivan. And how do they usually get that map? They don't typically launch a frontal assault on the company's super secure multi-million-dollar firewall. No, that's too much work. They go after the much easier, much softer target. You, the employee. You are the weak link. I know, that sounds harsh. You're a great person, you recycle, you're nice to dogs. But in security terms, you are walking, talking, potential vulnerability. You have something priceless, legitimate, access. You have a username and a password that lets you walk right through the digital front door. If a hacker can steal your credentials, they don't have to hack in anymore. They can just log in, pretending to be you. They can stroll through the digital hallways, poke around in sensitive files, and set up shop before anyone even notices they're there. All because of one person's compromised account. So, workplace cybersecurity isn't just a problem for the IT department. It is your problem. It is your responsibility. The consequences of a breach at your workplace are huge. It can lead to massive financial losses, reputational damage that destroys customer trust, and in some cases, it can even put a company out of business entirely. And that, in turn, affects your job security. So this isn't just about protecting some faceless corporation. It's about protecting your colleagues, your customers, and your own livelihood. Let's talk about how to not be the person who accidentally burns the whole office down with a single, careless click. Working from home is flexible, but it brings new security risks. Your home is now a branch office, often with weak security and many devices sharing the network. Treat your workspace like a real office. Lock your screen, secure your devices, and protect sensitive info. You're the IT manager now. Let's start by securing your network. Your Wi-Fi router is the gateway to your work and life online. Change the default admin password, use a strong Wi-Fi password, and enable WPA2 or WPA3 security. Keep your router's firmware updated. These simple steps turn your router into a strong first line of defense for your home office. The data you work with isn't yours. It belongs to your company. You're its temporary custodian, with a duty to protect it. Don't treat company data like personal files. Only access what you need, use approved sharing methods, and always shred sensitive documents. Safeguard company secrets from your first day to your last. Shadow IT, using unapproved apps or services at work, might seem harmless, but it puts your company at risk. IT teams carefully select secure tools for a reason. If you need something new, talk to your manager or IT. Stick to approved apps and help keep your company safe. That work laptop isn't yours. It's company property, meant for work only. Using it for personal stuff puts your company at risk, and your activity can be monitored. Keep work and personal life separate. If you wouldn't do it in front of your boss, don't do it on your work device. At work, phishing gets personal, like the urgent CEO email. Attackers research your company, then send a convincing message demanding a secret wire transfer. Urgency and secrecy are red flags. Always verify requests through official channels. Never reply or use contact info in the email. Your skepticism protects your company from costly scams. If you spot something suspicious, like a weird email or a strange login page, don't ignore it or feel embarrassed. Reporting it right away helps protect everyone. You're not a nuisance, you're a digital smoke detector. It would rather get a false alarm than miss a real threat. Speak up, be part of the solution. Nobody wants to read company policy documents, but they're the official rulebook for staying safe and compliant at work. Ignoring them is like playing a board game without reading the instructions. You'll make mistakes. Take the time to read and understand your company's security policy. It protects you and your job. At the end of the day, the last and most important line of defense isn't technology, it's you. You and your colleagues are the human firewall, making smart choices, reporting threats, and staying vigilant. Security is everyone's job. Be proactive, be skeptical, and remember, your actions protect your company every single day. Alright, so you've been sitting there patiently, absorbing all this information about digital villains and cyber hygiene. You've nodded along as I've explained phishing, ransomware, and why your dog's name is, let's be real, a terrible password. You've hopefully come to terms with the fact that you, yes, are the most important line of defense against the scoundrels of the internet. But listening is one thing, doing is another. It's kind of like watching a cooking show. You can watch Gordon Ramsay scream at people for hours, but that doesn't mean you actually know how to cook a scallop, right? It's time to put your newfound knowledge to the test. It's time for a little interactive challenge. Don't worry, this isn't for a grade. I'm not going to send your score to your boss or your mother, although, honestly, she's probably worried about your online habits. This is for you. It's It's a chance to see these concepts in action and to check if the important lessons have actually sunk into that wonderful brain of yours. We're going to go through a few practical exercises together. We'll have a quick quiz to jog your memory. We'll play a game of Spot the Fish with some real-world examples. And we'll take a look at what makes a password strong or, well, pathetically weak. Think of it as the practical driving test after weeks of driver's ed. The goal here is to move from theory to practice. It's easy to say, I'll be more skeptical of emails, but it's another thing entirely when you're faced with a well-crafted fake that's designed to press all your panic buttons. This is your chance to practice in a safe environment, where the only consequence of clicking a fake malicious link is me telling you that you clicked a fake malicious link. It's a digital flight simulator for navigating the treacherous skies of the internet. You get to face the danger without any of the, actual danger. So, get ready to engage that brain. Pour yourself a fresh cup of coffee or whatever beverage helps you feel like a digital detective. We're about to find out if you've just been passively listening or if you're truly ready to become a hardened veteran of the cyber wars. This is your chance to prove that you've been paying attention and that you have what it takes to protect yourself and your data from the forces of digital evil. Let the games begin. I believe in you, mostly. Let's do a quick cyber hygiene warm-up. What makes a strong password? A long random passphrase. Got a suspicious email? Delete and report it. On public Wi-Fi, use your phone's data or a VPN. And always enable two-factor authentication for extra security. You're already on your way. Ready for the main event? Let's spot the fish. I'll show you 3 emails. Your job. Detective. Look for red flags, urgency, generic greetings, weird links, sender addresses. First, a fake retailer email. Payment failed, urgent button. Legit or fish. Next, a scary social media alert. Suspicious login, urgent link, real or scam. Last, a CEO asks for urgent gift cards. Boss or trap? Let's investigate. Okay, let's break down that first email, the one from Amazonia, about a problem with your order. Your gut might have told you something was wrong, and your gut was absolutely right. This is a classic phishing scam. So, what were the dead giveaways? The first and most obvious one, if you know where to look, is the sender's email address. The display name might say Amazonia Customer Service, but if you look at the actual address it came from, it's something like support@amazoniabillingalerts.co. That is not the official domain. A real email would come from something like @amazon.com. They are counting on you not checking the details. The second red flag is the generic greeting. The email probably started with "Dear Customer" or "Hello Amazonia member." A real email from a company you have an account with will almost always use your actual name. They have your data. They know who you are. A generic greeting is a sign that this email has been blasted out to millions of people, hoping a few will bite. They don't know your name, so they can't use it. It's a subtle but very reliable indicator that you're dealing with a scammer, not a legitimate company that values your business. Red flag number 3 is the sense of urgency combined with a threat. You must update your details within 12 hours to avoid cancellation. This is pure social engineering. They want you to panic. They don't want you to stop, think, and maybe go to the real Amazonia website in a separate browser window to check your account status. They want you to feel that pressure and click their button without thinking. Legitimate companies might send you a reminder, but they rarely use this kind of immediate, high-pressure threat. It's the classic tactic of a con artist rushing their mark. Finally, and most importantly, there's the link itself. If you were to hover your mouse cursor over that big orange update your account button without clicking it. Your email program would show you the true destination URL. Instead of going to amazonia.com/your-account, it would probably lead to something like amazonia.securelogin.biz/update. It's a completely different website, designed to look exactly like the real thing, but its only purpose is to steal the username and password you're about to type in. If you spotted even one of these red flags, congratulations. You just avoided getting phished. Now let's dissect our second specimen, the suspicious login attempt from Moscow email from FaceSpace. This one is also, you guessed it, a textbook phishing attack. It's particularly nasty because it uses your own desire to be secure against you. It creates a sense of fear and violation, making you want to take immediate action to protect yourself. But every part of it is a lie, designed to trick you into clicking their link. The first clue, once again, is probably the sender's address. It might say it's from Cybersecurity, but the domain will be something phony, like at facespacessupport.net. The second major red flag is the link itself, and this one is a bit more clever. The link text in the email might be written out to look perfectly legitimate. facespace.com/secure-account. It looks right, but link text can say anything. It's like the cover of a book. It doesn't always tell you what's inside. The actual hyperlink, the destination it sends your browser to, is what matters. If you hovered your mouse over that link, you'd see the true destination is a different, malicious URL. This is a very common trick to lull you into a false sense of security. Never trust the link text. Always verify the destination. Third, let's think about the logic of the situation. The email is designed to make you panic and click, but what's the safe alternative? If you were genuinely concerned that someone was trying to access your account, you would never, ever click a link in an email to fix it. You would close the email, open a new browser tab, and manually type in facespace.com. You would then log into your account through the official, known safe website and check your security settings there. By going directly to the source, you completely bypass the scammer's trap. This is the correct procedure for any unsolicited security alert. This type of phish is incredibly effective because it feels personal and urgent. The mention of a specific foreign location like Moscow or Beijing adds a veneer of authenticity and a dash of spy thriller fear. The scammers know that most people will have a mini heart attack and click before their rational brain has a chance to engage. They are counting on your fear to override your skepticism. By learning to pause, breathe, and verify through a separate channel, you defuse their entire attack. You take back control and leave the scammer with nothing. The urgency request is a classic business email compromise scam. Scammers exploit workplace power dynamics, urgency, and secrecy, asking you to buy gift cards and send codes by email. Always check the sender's real address and never reply. Instead, verify the request through another channel. Pausing to check can save your company from disaster. You've survived phishing. Now, the final challenge: passwords. A weak password like Jessica is cracked instantly. Even Jessica 1992 falls in seconds. Short, complex ones, minutes maybe, but a long random passphrase like blue truck singing rain takes centuries to crack. Add symbols and numbers, and it's virtually unbreakable. Use a password manager for every site. Congratulations, you made it through the interactive challenge. You've diagnosed sick emails, you've seen the difference between a password that lasts a millisecond and one that lasts for eons, and you've hopefully refreshed your understanding of some core cybersecurity principles. So, What's the point of all this? The point is to show you that these threats aren't abstract, magical things that only happen to other people. They are real, they are tangible, and they follow predictable patterns. Once you know what to look for, the scary, sophisticated sounding scams start to look a bit cheap and obvious. The phishing examples showed us that scammers almost always rely on the same few tricks: creating fake urgency, using fear, impersonating authority, and hoping you won't check the details. The defense, in every case, was to slow down, be skeptical, and verify. It's not about having superhuman technical knowledge, it's about having a healthy, well-developed sense of, wait a minute, this seems a little weird. That single instinct, that pause, is your most powerful weapon. It's the circuit breaker that stops the attack in its tracks. You can cultivate that instinct through practice, and that's what we just did. The password gauntlet demonstrated in stark terms why the advice has changed. For years, we were told to create short, complex passwords with lots of symbols, and we ended up with unmemorable nonsense like $S*C at exclamation. We now know that length is immeasurably more important than complexity. A long passphrase is both vastly more secure and vastly easier for a human to remember. And when you combine the passphrase method with a password manager that can handle the unique, randomly generated gibberish for all your less important sites, you achieve a level of security that was unthinkable just a decade ago. Ultimately, this whole challenge was designed to empower you. It was meant to show you that you are not helpless. You have the tools and you have the brain power to be your own best defender in the digital world. It's not about being perfect. Nobody is. It's about being prepared. It's about building good habits and knowing what the common traps look like so you can walk right around them. You've now seen the enemy's playbook and practice your defensive moves. You are smarter, savvier, and better equipped to stay safe online than you were just a few minutes ago. And that is a victory worth celebrating. We've journeyed through the digital wilds: phishing, ransomware, passwords, and privacy. The goal? Not fear, but knowledge. You're not just a user, you're a digital citizen and a gatekeeper. Now, let's recap the essentials and get you ready for the real world.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3.
If you remember absolutely nothing else from our time together, please remember this one thing. Your security is your responsibility. It sounds harsh, but it's actually incredibly empowering. For too long, we have treated our online safety as someone else's problem. We assume our bank has it covered, that our email provider is watching out for us, that the IT department at work will handle everything. And while all those entities do have a massive role to play, the truth is that the most critical security decisions, moment to moment, are made by you. You are the one who chooses to click the link. You are the one who chooses the password. You are the one who decides to use the sketchy public Wi-Fi. This shift in mindset, from passive victim to active participant, is the single most important cybersecurity defense you can ever adopt. It is the foundation upon which all other good habits are built. A passive victim believes that getting hacked is a matter of bad luck, like being struck by lightning. An active participant understands that getting hacked is often the result of a series of small, preventable mistakes. An active participant knows that they have agency. They can make choices that dramatically increase or decrease their own risk. They are the driver of their own digital car, not just a passenger along for the ride. Being an active participant doesn't mean you have to be a technical genius. It simply means you have to be engaged. It means you pause for a half second before you click. It means you ask the question, does this seem right? It means you take 5 minutes to enable a security feature like two-factor authentication instead of putting it off. It's the difference between blindly trusting every email that lands in your inbox and treating each one with a healthy default level of skepticism. It's about engaging your brain before you engage your mouse. That's it. That's the whole game. So, from this day forward, I want you to reject the idea that you are helpless. You are anything but. The cyber criminals of the world are counting on your passivity. They are betting that you will be too busy, too distracted, or too uninformed to notice their tricks. Your greatest weapon is to simply prove them wrong. Be present, be mindful, be skeptical. Take an active role in managing your own digital life. By doing so, you transform yourself from the perfect target into a security asset. You become the human firewall we talked about, the last, best line of defense. Security can feel overwhelming, but focus on the unholy trinity. Use a password manager for unique, strong passwords, enable two-factor authentication, and keep your software updated. Master these 3 habits and you'll eliminate most online risks, making hackers curse your name. That's the power of the Trinity. Want a safer digital life? Here's your checklist. Install a password manager, create a strong master password, enable two-factor authentication, and run software updates. Then, review your social media privacy, back up important files, and be skeptical of emails. 1 hour now saves you stress later. Your security upgraded. You know, you do not have to go on this cybersecurity journey alone, and you certainly don't have to break the bank to do it. The world is full of brilliant, often very generous people who have built incredible tools to help you stay safe. Arming yourself with the right software is like bringing a power tool to a job you are trying to do with your bare hands. It just makes everything easier, more efficient, and way more effective. Here are a few categories of tools that you should absolutely be using, and the great news is many of them have excellent free versions that are more than enough for the average person. First and foremost, as I've said until I'm blue in the face, is the password manager. This is your new best friend. Seriously, it will change your digital life. Bitwarden is widely considered one of the best. It's open source, and its free plan offers almost everything you could ever need, including unlimited password storage and syncing across all your devices. 1Password is another top-tier option. It has a beautifully designed interface and great family sharing plans. It's a paid service, but a lot of people find the user experience to be worth a small subscription fee. Your browser's built-in password manager, like in Chrome or Safari, is better than nothing, but a dedicated standalone manager is significantly more secure and feature-rich. Next up, a good antivirus and anti-malware program. Modern operating systems like Windows 10 or 11 and macOS have pretty good built-in protection, Windows Security and Xprotect respectively, and for many people that's enough. But if you want an extra layer of defense, especially on Windows, a third-party tool can be a good idea. Malwarebytes is an excellent tool for scanning your computer and removing malware that your regular antivirus might have missed. It has a great free version for on-demand scanning. Reputable antivirus vendors like ESET, Avast or AVG also offer robust free and paid options. Finally, here are a couple of other essential utilities. Have I Been Pwned? HaveYouBeenPwned.com is a free, essential website run by a security expert. You can enter your email address and it will tell you if your account has been found in any known data breaches. It's your early warning system. And a VPN, a virtual private network. If you frequently use public Wi-Fi, a VPN is a must-have. Services like Proton VPN, which has a decent free tier, Mullvad or NordVPN, create a secure, encrypted tunnel for your internet traffic. keeping you safe from eavesdroppers. So, throughout this discussion, we've mostly focused on what's in it for you, protecting your money, your data, your identity, and that's a perfectly valid and important motivation. But I want to close by expanding that perspective just a little bit. Practicing good cybersecurity isn't just a selfish act of self-preservation. It has a ripple effect. Your personal security habits have a direct impact on the safety and well-being of the people around you, your friends, your family, and your colleagues. Being secure isn't just about protecting yourself. It's about being a good citizen of your digital community. Think about it this way. If your email account gets compromised because you used a weak password and no two-factor authentication, what happens next? The attacker now has access to your entire contact list. They can send malicious phishing emails to every single person you know. Your elderly parents, your best friend, your boss. And because those emails are coming from your trusted account, they are far more likely to be opened and clicked. Your poor security has just become a weapon used to attack the people who trust you. Your vulnerability has made them vulnerable. The same principle applies at work. If you bring a malware-infected personal USB drive and plug it into your work computer, you could unleash a ransomware attack that cripples the entire company. Your single mistake could affect the livelihoods of hundreds of your colleagues. When you fall for a phishing scam and give away your login credentials, you are not just compromising your own access, you are handing an attacker a key to the entire organization, putting everyone's data at risk. In our interconnected world, there is no such thing as a security incident that happens in a vacuum. This is why building a culture of security is so important. When you practice good hygiene, you're not just protecting your own house, you're helping to keep the whole neighborhood safe. When you help a less tech-savvy family member set up a password manager or turn on two-factor authentication, you are strengthening the herd immunity of your entire social circle. Being secure is an act of consideration. It's a way of showing that you care about the digital well-being of the people you're connected to. It's about recognizing that we are all in this together, and the chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Don't be the weak link. Mistakes happen, even with the best habits. If you click a bad link or enter your password on a fake site, don't panic. Change your password, enable two-factor authentication, and run a security scan. Act quickly and ask for help if you need it. As we come to the end of our time together, there's one final, crucial point to make. Cybersecurity is not a destination you arrive at. It's not a project you can complete, check off a list, and then forget about forever. You don't just get secure and then you're done. Cybersecurity is a practice. It's a process. It's an ongoing commitment to awareness and good habits. The digital world is constantly changing. New threats emerge, new technologies are developed, and new scams are invented every single day. The defenses that are considered state-of-the-art today might be obsolete in 5 years. This means that your education doesn't end here. You have to stay curious and stay informed. You don't have to read dense technical journals, but it's a good idea to pay attention to major security news. When you hear about a big new data breach at a service you use, take a moment to go change your password and check if your data was involved. When your phone's operating system introduces a new privacy feature, take a few minutes to learn what it does and how to use it. Treat your security knowledge like a garden. It needs to be tended to periodically, or it'll get overgrown with weeds. This might sound exhausting, but it doesn't have to be. It's about incorporating security thinking into your regular routine. Just as you might periodically check the oil in your car or the batteries in your smoke detector, you should periodically conduct a small security audit of your digital life. Once every 6 months or so, take 30 minutes to review the passwords in your password manager. Are there any old weak ones you still need to change? Review the privacy settings on your social media accounts. Are they still configured the way you want? Check what third-party apps have access to your Google or Facebook account and revoke access for any you don't use anymore. This ongoing practice is what separates a truly resilient digital citizen from someone who just took a one-time class. It's about building a sustainable habit of vigilance. The good news is that the core principles we've discussed, using a password manager, enabling two-factor authentication, being skeptical of unsolicited messages, keeping things updated, are timeless. They'll serve you well for years to come. But you must remain an active, engaged participant in your own defense, ready to adapt as the landscape shifts. Your safety tomorrow depends on the good habits you practice today and your willingness to keep learning. We began this journey by acknowledging that the internet can be a scary place, a minefield of potential threats, and after walking through all the ways things can go wrong, from scams to spyware, from data breaches to digital extortion, it would be easy to end up right back at fear. It would be easy to conclude that the only rational response is to disconnect, to retreat from the digital world and its ever-present dangers. But I want to argue, one last time, that this is absolutely the wrong conclusion to draw. The purpose of everything we have discussed is to transform your fear into awareness, because the two things are not the same. Fear is a paralyzing emotion. It's a vague, overwhelming sense of dread that leaves you feeling helpless and out of control. Fear tells you that the threats are too big, too complex, and too numerous to fight. It makes you want to give up. Fear is what cyber criminals want you to feel when you get their fake, urgent, action-required email. It makes you react without thinking. Fear is the enemy of good security because it short-circuits the rational, skeptical part of your brain that you need most when you're under attack. Fear is a liability. Awareness, on the other hand, is empowering. Awareness is specific. It's not a vague feeling of dread. It's the concrete knowledge that an email from your bank asking for your password is a scam. It's knowing that a public Wi-Fi network is an untrusted environment. It's understanding the difference between a weak password and a strong one. Awareness gives you a sense of control because it gives you options. When you are aware of a threat, you can choose how to respond to it. You can choose to delete the email, to use a VPN, to create a better password. Awareness turns you from a potential victim into a capable defender. So please, do not leave here filled with fear. Leave here filled with a calm, confident awareness. The digital world is an amazing, indispensable part of modern life. It offers incredible opportunities for connection, learning, and convenience. The risks are real, but they are manageable. You do not need to be afraid of the dark alleys if you know where they are and you choose to walk down the well-lit streets instead. You now have the map and the flashlight. You have the knowledge you need to navigate this world safely and with confidence. And with that, class is dismissed. You have officially graduated from Cybersecurity 101. You can toss your digital mortarboard in the air. You've sat through the lectures, you've met the villains, you've survived the interactive challenges, and you've got your checklist for a safer life. You now know more about protecting yourself online than the vast majority of people on this planet. That is not an exaggeration. The bar is shockingly low, and you have just soared over it like an eagle who is also, for some reason, very good at spotting malicious URLs. You are now part of the solution. The journey doesn't end here, of course. As we've said, this is an ongoing practice. but you have the foundation. You have the tools and the mindset to build upon. From now on, every time you create a new strong password, you're winning. Every time you enable two-factor authentication on another account, you're winning. Every time you spot a phishing email and delete it with a smug sense of satisfaction, you are absolutely winning. These are the small daily victories that add up to a secure and resilient digital life. Celebrate them. Be proud of them. The internet is a weird, wonderful, and sometimes dangerous place. It's not going anywhere. We live here now. Our job is to learn how to be good neighbors, how to lock our doors, and how to help others do the same. It's not about achieving perfect, impenetrable security. That's impossible. It's about being a harder target. It's about making the bad guys' jobs just a little bit more difficult. It's about taking simple, sensible precautions to protect the things that matter to you. You're now equipped to do exactly that. So, thank you for your time and your attention. I hope this has been helpful, maybe even a little bit entertaining. Now go on, go forth and use the internet for all the amazing things it's good for. Post pictures of your pets, argue about pineapple on pizza, learn how to build a ship in a bottle. Do it all, but just do it a little more safely. Do it with a healthy dose of skepticism and a whole lot more confidence. Go forth and click wisely. Stay